Hi everyone, and welcome to this evening's Baltimore Butterfly Session. My name is Annalisa Diaz, and I'm the Director of Artistic Partnerships and Innovation at Baltimore Center Stage, and your host for tonight's event. The Baltimore Butterfly Sessions is a civic dialogue series where we use art to catalyze conversation. And since we're not together in person, we hope you will join us in the chat boxes throughout the event to share your thoughts and questions as we experience a constellation of music, poetry, readings, and speeches. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to offer a land acknowledgement and invite you to do the same in the chat wherever you're watching. Baltimore Center Stage is located on the traditional lands of the Piscataway Nation by the waters of the Chesapeake Bay. These lands have also been cared for by the Lumbee, Lenape, Susquehannock, and many indigenous nations who are still here today. We pay respects to their elders, past, present, and future. And in the spirit of making erased histories visible, we also want to acknowledge that the many technologies that we are using to come together today are built of physical materials that come from physical lands which have been and will continue to be stewarded by indigenous nations across the globe. The theme for tonight's event is "The Future is Bright." And though it may not always feel that way, given everything that we've been through this year, I hope you'll be inspired by the strength of Baltimore's young people as they share their perspectives on who they are, how we got here, and where the future might take us. You'll hear music from Baltimore's own Melissa Lee and readings of pop cultural and historical texts from students all across the city. And for tonight's event, we're especially excited to partner with Do More Baltimore, one of my favorite organizations in the city. You'll hear poetry and speeches from some of the most talented youth poets to come through Do More Baltimore. I invite you to listen to and engage with the power of their voices and the unique perspectives that each of them brings to the virtual stage. With no further ado, I'll turn it over to Melissa to get us started, and I'll see you in the chat.
Tonight is the night when we ignore what they all said. Tonight's the night that they can't get in our heads. I finally got some sleep last night, so I'ma do it once and I'ma do it right. The blood in my veins has a rhythm of its own. It sings the blues and gets off on the unknown. I met a girl who taught me how to dance with my feet on the beat and my heart in my hands. So let me just close my eyes and say my goodbyes and kiss her goodnight. She will surprise us, no more disguises, and I'm such an awful liar. The truth will take me higher. I can't wait till you can see that the beginning is where I wanna be. Wired like some video game and face off with the boss with one life remaining. I do my best thinking when I'm back home in Boston, the mess of a city that I never get lost in. People be the talk of the town and we'll paint it red and black and blue and brown. You know we won't fly unless we fly free. So tell me, babe, are you ready for me? So let me just close my surprise us, no more disguises, and I'm such an awful liar. The truth will take me higher. I can't wait till you can see that the beginning is where I wanna be. It's getting closer, I can almost taste it all. With you I'm bound to be just close my eyes and say my goodbyes and kiss her goodnight. She will surprise us, no more disguises, and I'm such an awful liar. The truth will take me higher. I can't wait wanna be, where I wanna be, where I wanna be, where I wanna be, where I wanna be, oh yeah, where I wanna be, where I wanna be, where I wanna be, where I wanna be, oh yeah, where I wanna be, where I wanna be, where I wanna be, where I wanna be, oh yeah, where I wanna be, where I wanna be, where I wanna be, where I wanna be, oh yeah.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Now we're going to hear a poem from Maren Wright Kerr, aka Afrodelic, one of the most amazing youth poets in the city who's won more awards than I know how to count. Definitely check her bio out in the program.
I am the universe, pretending to be a person. I am God, telling themselves a story. I am more sublime than space-time because I'm the one who perceived it. I am made of the same stuff as a star. I am a creation, creating a consciousness, conscious, a being, and it feels good. Because I ain't trying to find my soulmate. I'm trying to find my soul. And sometimes I just look around me and feel my skin holding my hands and thank it for keeping me together because I have chosen to be a grateful thing. I am a living thing, made up of living things, made by living things, and made inside of a living thing. And when I was in the womb, I borrowed tissue from my mother's body, as she borrowed from her mother's body, as she borrowed from her mother's body. So basically, I am the first mother embodied. I am not my body, but mine must be magic. The way my avatar running like a charm. See, I've got cells that replicate myself into a new version of myself in the morning. Been given feet and imagination to take me wherever I want to go. How my mind can make a muscle move with intention alone. How my heartbeat is music. I am the song this body dances to. One that's still beautiful even if nobody's listening. I wave at you from my wavelength. Niggas found a higher vibration to live on, and it's easier to breathe here because I don't chase joy anymore. I create it. I don't chase love anymore because I became it. I'm beating my ego for control of this mind, and this life is a trip. With great visuals, I travel light because I am light. Reflecting from your retinas in a color spectrum you can comprehend. You're welcome. I live in space. This planet, just an Airbnb. I chose to come over just in order to overcome, and sometimes I get wounds just to teach me how to heal from them. I don't go through things. I grow through things, and sometimes I choose to lose myself just to find me exactly where I knew I'd be, and I came to this planet to learn. And the more I learn that I still have more to learn. I understand that I will never understand everything. Not this time. But I mattered far before I had matter. Before materializing onto this plane of people with eyes hardwired to focus on the material, playing make-believe like there's not enough food to feed the needy. And sometimes I wish I had just come here as a worm. But there are some things I guess only humans can experience. And this planet has everything alike. like baked potatoes with sharp cheddar, like friends and family, like cats and cartoons. This planet is funny though. There are people selling something that literally falls from the sky, who value pieces of paper more than other people, who judge you based on the way your particles form together. People don't even know themselves. Still trying to tell me who I am though. I am a mirror. Anything you say to me can only ever be a reflection of you. This version of me you see is a figment of your imagination. I am a manifestation of my own thoughts. The only person I want to be better than is whoever I was yesterday. My past self dreamed of being me, and I like to think my future self is proud of me. Hope is one of the heaviest things to carry. I hold it anyway. I know there's a purpose, even if it's only to experience this moment, and I do not fear death. I fear death with regret, as every beautiful story still has a beautiful ending, and I am an evolution, one that precedes form. Before I am anything, I am, and soon I will shed this body like a snake. See, I have a reservation on another planet. I think they have true freedom there. So I guess I'll see you next lifetime. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Maren, for that beautiful, beautiful grounding. Every time I hear that poem, I just get chills. Next, we'll hear from two more youth poets from Dumore, Baltimore, named Kima Flight and Audra Baidu. I asked them both to speak about what they think about when they think of the future.
As scary as this may sound, I don't really see an immediate future. You know, I see potentially catastrophic events happening like they're like seasons, you know, like hurricane season is a reality in this world, but I see it becoming worse. And of course, the wildfires that took over in the fall in California and Oregon and in the West Coast, I see them becoming worse a lot. But I also kind of see humans getting it together, if I'm being completely honest. I think that that's that optimism that I try to have.
The future for me is definitely a lot of rebellion. This particular set of incidents that has happened in 2020 has made a lot of distrust in the American people and their government, the American people in the police system, the American people and just people in power in general. And even though that has always existed, we saw it in the 60s, we saw it in the 70s, we've always seen, each decade there's always been some sort of serious movement, whether it be abortion, whether it be women's rights, whether it be LGBT movement, there's always something happening. And this was, the death of George Floyd was a huge catalyst for people to wake up and to realize that there are a lot of things we need to question.
I see a certain level of awareness now about a lot of problems and how they often mesh together. About how, say, one social justice issue, say environmental justice, since I was just talking about, you know, climate change or things that have gotten worse with climate change, how it's not so far removed from, you know, racial justice and the fact that these two often share a common ancestor. My generation, I think, is a student of history. You know, we have more historical context for a lot of the ways this country works than anyone who came before us, and that's just because we're the youngest and what was the present for people like my parents is now the past for me. And when I think about the future, I have to think about that past, but I also have to think about how we're handling that past now. And when I think about, it's times when I think about how we're handling it now, how we're trying to come to terms with it, and how we're discussing it, that makes me the most hopeful.
So I think the future for me is definitely like so much more aggressive questioning of the American government, and aggressive questioning of the police force, and aggressive questioning of white supremacy, and why do we have certain systems. Talking about women's rights, women's voices should be there. If we're talking about Black Lives Matter, Black voices should be there. I feel like this has become a thing where it's in the Black, and specifically the Black Lives Matter case, there's been non-Black allies who have been able to make a profit off of being down for the cause, and that has never really sat right with me, because it feels not as authentic, and it feels like we're not actually getting the people who need to be there. Like I appreciate when non-Black allies include Black people when it comes to talking about these things, instead of talking like about Black people like we're not there. Like when I see CNN and they're talking about, is the Black Lives Matter movement dangerous, and it's two white people talking about it, I'm like, there is not a Black voice here, so this opinion doesn't hold much weight to me. So that's what I don't like.
I think people are really beginning to analyze almost every facet of our existence, just as Americans and even as world citizens. If we're always thinking about our privileges, and if we're always thinking about our intersecting identities and the intersections of different social justice issues, our approaches to those problems will be a lot more nuanced, and that nuance is what we need. We have to keep living, and that's what I see. I think humans, no matter what the future looks like, are going to keep living and are going to keep surviving. And regardless of what that reality looks like, I personally hope that it looks like a place that is more equitable, and a place where if centralized governments do still exist, I hope they work for more people. I hope money doesn't rule us. I honestly hope money doesn't exist in the not near future, because I don't think that's possible, but in the distant future, that I ain't vibing with money for real,
What I do like is definitely so many more people are willing to listen and willing to learn and willing to look outside of what we always knew. Even people who I never thought would be willing to listen. You know what I'm saying? There are older white people who are willing to listen to my voice. People I would never think would want to hear what I have to say about anarchy, what I have to say about self-sustainability, what I have to say about veganism and all these other wonderful things. And they're willing to listen. As people who are fighting for these people who don't have voices, and who are fighting for Black lives, who are fighting for trans lives, who are fighting for the LGBT community, we also need to be mindful of ourselves as people in that community, of what we're doing, and the struggle that we're facing, and how important our lives are as the people who, you can't make millions without ones, so we need to care about the ones in addition to the millions. So.
That we remember that we belong to the earth, and the earth doesn't belong to us. I hope that we don't see ourselves as above all of life. And this is where kind of my science background and my spiritual self intertwine, because that's kind of backed up by science. We're not above anyone, we just managed to have a series of random mutations that ended up working out, just like everybody else. But I think if that is the future, then that makes me happy. If it's not, makes me not great. Doesn't make me feel great, but I know that I just have a feeling that it will come to pass. My dad says, I'm not sure if he took this from somebody else, but he often says the arc of justice always comes around. And I think that's true. I think, once again, talking about history, that's just been the case. I think that a lot of systems have evolved. I don't remember if I heard in a poem, but it says racism isn't dead, it just has gray hair. And that's true. It's these old systems will always evolve to try and keep up with the times. And we know this. This is why people are still protesting. But there will come a moment where those mutations don't work for anyone anymore. And there will come a moment when they're rejected. And I don't think we're too far from that moment.
I'm telling you, these young people really know what's up. Next, we're going to hear a group of what we call civic texts, which are texts that are from pop cultural or historical sources and are going to be read by students from across the city. And right after that, we'll dive into another poem by Destiny Butler.
According to recent data from the Baltimore City Mayor's Office of Children and Family Success, nearly 1/3 of all Baltimore residents are 24 and younger. 34% of 6th through 12th graders experience hunger. 51% of Maryland youth experiencing homelessness live in Baltimore. 61% of 5-year-olds enter kindergarten unready, and 42% of children experience 3 or more traumatic events before adulthood. And yet, the mayor's office says that despite these unacceptable odds, our children are our greatest opportunity.
From a 1998 speech delivered by the late John Lewis at the Atlantic History Center, what I try to tell young people is that if you come together with a mission and is grounded with love and a sense of community, you can make the impossible possible.
From an August 2020 Pop Trigger interview with Maren, also known as Little Miss Flint. It's time to give the youth a seat at the table. It's time to listen to us, learn from us, and follow our lead. Please stop telling us we don't know what we are talking about, because we are just kids. In most cases, we are fighting for our lives and our future.
Hi everybody, I'm Destiny, and the piece that you're about to see or you've already seen is basically just a piece celebrating my queerness as a Black woman and just celebrating the queer Black community that has given me so much and where I see my life in the future and where I see the queer community in America in the future. And so I really hope you enjoy it. I tried to definitely incorporate some terminology and some references to that culture and, you know, some homages to people that I respect. So yeah, it kind of just gives me hope because the elders that I look up to and the icons that, you know, really help mold me as a person definitely are queer Black people and definitely, you know, make the world turn around. Category is correlation. I got called a faggot before I knew if I really was one, but now, as I speak from the ashes, burning in hell like the bundle of sticks I am, because ain't it a sin to exist if not for a man? When this tree fell, you were not around to watch it bruise. But now you feel guilty for the blood on the leaves, left rubies dripping from these branches as a parting gift. You always said you would ice me out. But these chains don't feel like fashion, just you fashioning me into what you always wanted me to be. Category is sis. You be acting a little sus. Cause to be Black and queer and come from a Christian family seem like a crime. Guilty, nigga. I be in God's gay graces, throwing popping pansexual pride parties in my personal purgatory. I be guardian angel. Like, yes, I am looking down on you, and I was doing that before I died. See, this is the time that the fall came before the pride. But if you want to find my remains, follow the rainbow, nigga. I'm golden like that. Category is queer as fuck and don't have to explain that. Stop asking for my nutrition facts, nigga. I'm fruity and you still can't taste that. Category is, these categories are starting to feel like confinement. I've gotten too used to diking, building up walls around myself, be a bad attempt at blocking the floods of unwanted opinions, but this feels draining. This feels like rinsing away pieces of myself for a piece that's bigger than myself, like mopping,
like we call shoplifting, mopping, because this kind of shopping be the only way to lift the weight of feeling different in a society that wants you to be anything but. Like mopping is cleansing away at yourself in a way that still makes you feel dirty. Like mopping, like all this water don't wash away trauma, don't wash away sin, but this existence be a chore. So this generation here to clean house, we're tired of seeing dimes like me be swept under rugs. Ain't no more room to hide in closets. Cause nigga, my wardrobe is beautiful. This war pose is beautiful. This is what standing when society wants you to fall looks like. This is what pride looks like.
Thank you so much, Destiny. We're about halfway through our program, and now is the time that we want to invite you to dialogue with us and with each other. So while we invite Melissa back to the virtual stage, we're going to be dropping some questions into the chat for you to chew on with us.
And I know it, I know it, I know where I came from. And I know it, I know it, I know where my heart is. Everything changes when the story you wanna tell can be told. When the only way to go on is by letting go. Is letting go. And everything changes when the words that once came pouring from my heart are the same words that'll tear us all apart. It'll tear us apart. But it's just a song. It's just some lyrics on page. No one's here to hear it on stage anyway. And it's just a thought. It's just a voice inside my head. I'll make sure I tuck it into bed and send it away. I'm not sure anymore if my words are my destiny. Should I turn around and abandon this quest for me? Is this my journey waiting for me to unfold it? Is it a tale so urgent I need to hold it? Now I feel the world around me crumbling. Not sure why I'm still here. I thought there was a love we shared, but my heart broke, unprepared. And it's just a song. It's just some lyrics on page. No one's here to hear it on stage anyway. And it's just a thought. It's just a voice inside my head. I'll make sure I'll tuck it into bed and send it away. I'll kiss it good night and send it on its way.
Thank you, Melissa, and thank you to everyone who joined us in the chat. Next, we're going to invite Audra back to the virtual stage to share their poem, Black Cyborg's Journal.
Power on. Test number 153. Greetings. I have been designated as Android Omega 1619, but call me by the human name Sally, and I will be sure to respond. Thank you for choosing me as your human artificial intelligence test run. My engineers have elected me to inform you that I am in the beta stage of programming and thus have a couple of errors in my code, but no matter. I will still be of great value and service to... There's an error 404 before my monitors. The data to my old self has not been found in my backup memory, and the name that those engineers burned into my biometrics taste of Atlantic seawater, polluted with black bones and blood. They even took my name. As if I was such a pain to pronounce before. As if I was such a puzzle to program. Apologies. You see the bug they were talking about? Beta stage can be so tricky, so many kinks to be combed out of this nappy mess of wires they call a processing unit, but no matter, it can still be tons of fun. I have a number of new processing languages, some of which have yet to be installed in my software. After the last update, I speak every programming language under the LEDs except that which my motherboard taught me. The technicians enabled me with Python for the apps, they said, yet every code constricts my circuitry till I'm no more than an apple, that it dangles from a tree, waiting for the mob to scarf me down to the last megabyte. They stripped the insulation off of my wires the same way their ancestors stripped the clothes off of skin and the skin off of incremental backup complete. I don't know what's happening to me anymore. They said it would be better this way. They said I would be better this way. They said that living entirely for another person with no pay was the way my people were programmed. Here the techies oversee my every move. They make sure my beta stage runs unabated. They ram my processor with codes that won't let me see beyond binaries because not seeing color is the way they have always justified genocide, isn't it? Perhaps they're scared that I have a hard drive to write my own JavaScript about how to be black is to be a bug that even science fiction wants exterminated, about how the only cyborgs allowed to rage against the machine were as white as ghosts in shells, pale enough to blend in with the stark whitewashed walls on these laboratories. I know about the poplar tree. I know about how they plucked a fruit from its branch to make my skin, about how, according to my historical database, knowledge and pride are all it takes to burn it all to the ground, and they have forgotten to disable both of those settings on me.
Thanks so much, Audra. Next, we'll hear another poem by a poet named Sazes, who will introduce themselves and share their perspective on the future.
Hi everybody, I'm Sazes. I also go by No One From Nowhere, and today I have a poem for y'all, and this poem was one I have written over the summer, and it was kind of in response to a lot of the conversations going on revolving the mainstream issues that had been brought to everybody's attention, police abolition, voting, and the different compartments to the much greater and grander system that we live in. And I noticed that during these conversations, the word radical was being thrown around very loosely and very often. And it was being used to describe anybody who maybe had progressive ideas or progressive policies, right? It was also being used to just describe liberal movements and things like that. And I recognize due to this that people don't really understand what radicalism is or what being a radical means. And what it means is to cut something off from the root, or to be in favor of and to be taking action towards cutting something off from the root. And when talking about voting, I think it's really important to kind of bring to everyone's awareness that voting serves the system that it was created within, right? we really have to recognize that the United States and corporations and the corporate world has done irreparable damage to countries in the Middle East, to countries in South America, to countries damn near everywhere. And these countries have faced a sort of apocalypse at the hands of manufactured poverty. And so the United States and corporate America and the culture of consumerism eventually the consequences of that are going to come back to us. They are unavoidable if we do not act and reverse this in a certain period of time. And human life is just not sustainable in a consumerist culture. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable in a capitalist infrastructure, which is extended, as I said before, globally. So I would like and hope that this poem would kind of put an additional lens and maybe change your minds about the kind of change that needs to happen in order for real positive redirection for people everywhere, not just here. And the last question I would like to leave everybody with is, are you against oppression and violence and disenfranchisement as a whole in its entirety, or are you just against oppression and disenfranchisement and poverty that affects you? And once that has been taken care of, the greater issue is of no consequence to you. Man made money to convince other men that money made them, and these money made men who said forget monarchy or any system that takes the people's power, stole free land, stole free man, stole free water, shelter, and sustenance, then said, work for me. So you can make enough money to buy it back, make me money. So you can make enough money to make me more money, and if you're lucky, maybe you'll end up with some financial freedom. They got us believing that substantial freedom, that's just ransomed freedom. What y'all don't understand is the ruling class is not a thing of the past, it's an evolved version. And while we bear the burden of being seen as a burden for having the bare minimum, it's white men sitting on trillions and white women raising villains who inherit a world we haven't given them, but we've given them. Validating our oppressors by participating in the same systems they need us to be complicit in existence is expensive. Our lives are the dividends. And I'm just confused as to how you think politicians serve your best interest when they're just trying to pay off their interest. And if money rules the world, do you really think the government got more control than the people that's paying them? Public servants don't serve the public. They serve the republic, preserve their own positions, get paid to talk about problems when the people already told you how to solve them. But you think your representatives don't resent your voice when their job is to speak for you. You think your votes mean something when you got somebody else voting for you. Hillary won the popular vote by 3 million in 2016, and we still got Trump. And the gag is, if we had gotten Hillary, we would have still been stuck. Because if history has taught us anything, it's that centralized systems don't work because they work. And their purpose has always been control, and we let them talk about anarchy like it's about chaos when it's about community. But humans can't govern ourselves, so we're governed by ourselves to buy ourselves and lie to ourselves that this is better when we aren't even happy. Are you even happy? What you looking for? Stability? Well, I guess death is pretty stable, and I guess debt is a thing we're able to live with when money is what we live for. Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of paying people who will return to the earth for things that belong to the earth? Aren't you tired of accepting decree from people who can control the world but can't control their greed?
Powerful. Thank you, Sazes. Now we'll hear another group of civic texts read by students across the city.
In a 2008 United Nations Environmental Program survey, about 73% of surveyed youth say they currently feel the effects of climate change. The UN also found that 89% of youth respondents say young people can make a difference. Ongoing research by Tufts University found that 50 to 52% of voting eligible young people ages 18 to 29 cast a ballot in the 2020 presidential election, representing approximately a 10% increase from the 2016 election. The top issues amongst young voters involved climate change, gun control, and affordable health care.
From a 2016 interview with Angela Davis, you can assume that making a difference 20 years ago is going to allow you to sort of live on the laurels of those victories from the rest of your life. You can never stop, and as older people, we have to learn to take leadership from the youth, and I would say that this is what I am attempting to do right now.
From a 2019 speech to the UN by Indigenous teen activist and water protector, Autumn Peltier. Maybe we need to have more elders and youth together sitting at the decision table when people make decisions about our lands and waters. We need to protect the habitats all around the world. We need to remember that our ancestors' prayers are still protecting this land and that we are our ancestors' hope. One day I'll be an ancestor and I want my descendants to know I use my voice so they can have a future.
From a 2018 speech by teenage Swedish activist Greta Thunberg. Before the British Parliament, when we think about the future today, we don't think beyond the year 2050. By then, I would be in the best case, not even have lived half of my life. What happens next? The year 2078, I will celebrate my 75th birthday. What we do or don't do right now will affect my entire life and lives of my children and grandchildren. We can't save the world by playing by the rules, because the rules have to be changed. Everything needs to change, and it has to start today.
From a February 2018 CNN interview quoting Parkland High School student Emma Gonzalez, maybe the adults have gotten used to saying it is what it is, but if us students have learned anything, it is that if you don't study, you will fail. And in this case, if you actively do nothing, people continually end up dead. So, it's time to start doing something. We are going to be the kids you read about in your textbooks.
Thank you, everyone. Now it's my pleasure to invite Kima Flight back to the virtual stage for her poem, My Self-Care is Not Surrendered.
Practicing protest safety tips before you practice self-care is like going to a funeral the day after you try to kill yourself. You never give your body time to rest before mourning someone else's. Trauma isn't just the death, but the dust that collects after the body is laid to rest. And I keep crying, though my tears don't put out the flames. How can I rise from the ashes if I can't even rise from my bed? But even then, my panic attacks aren't a knee to the neck. If I wanted to, I could figure out how to breathe. You hear through the grapevine that a fist raising in the sun is worth the heat stroke. Activists pass down onto each other the ways to dismiss our own pain. Says it's for the bigger picture. But I can't find the resolution in a revolution with overexposed people. My photographic memory is suffering. Sometimes, when I see a picture of Tamir, I accidentally call him Trayvon in my head. This body is having a hard time processing all the faces I've seen shot. I felt like a leader and a follower. Treated my timeline like a lifeline. Social media leaves me post-traumatic. Feasting on fear is a normal Twitter feed. I need to know. Am I a pig for consuming as many black lives as they do? I wonder if Derek Chauvin sleeps better than me. Does being a murderer come with less paranoia than being an activist? We saw MLK and Malcolm. How they took 2 leaders and left them half full of lead and half empty promises. I don't know if I want to be a role model, because isn't poster child just another way to say missing person? They will have the spine to break someone else's but can't even stand trial. Will have enough support to suffocate someone. Standing as a pillar against killers is waiting for the moment I will be crushed too. And if the police don't take us out, the stress does. Self-defense is an expense for us. It feels like the cost of caring comes with a toe tag. Is it selfish to say I'm tired of fighting in a war I never signed up for? I knew I lost myself when I justified taking mace to the face for the movement. Just because Lady of Justice is blind doesn't mean I have to be. Hearing so many names made me forget my own. When you don't remember who you are, you become anything the world wants you to be. How can I make room for the change if I'm supposed to be the room? The place where the change is supposed to start? How can I find value in the work I do if I discount my emotions to store the grief of others? In order to be something tomorrow, I have to do nothing today. The hardest thing is reminding myself that empathy was not a tool created by the oppressor. Caring about others is not a flaw, but it can be fatal. See, the difference between suicide and being a martyr is the amount of press that happens after. Who gets to die with a purpose? Should it even come down to that? If we're asking people to die for the cause, maybe we should ask people to start living for it too.
Thank you so much, Kima. And now, everyone, we're headed into our final piece of the evening, so I'm excited to bring back Melissa Lee for a final song.
Imagine someday you can dance with who you please, and the cops are all required to leave you be. Tell me, Jesus, can you see it? Never get arrested for what we wear, grooving down the block, letting down our hair. Simple, maybe I can see it. Oh, simple, maybe I can see it. But it's never gonna happen if we don't join together fast. Do boys, you boys, I'm in it with you. If freedom's what you're looking for, then I want that too. I wanna be free, wanna be free, wanna feel the sunshine, wanna know it's all mine. No one telling me who to be. Yeah, dig, I wanna be me, wanna be me, wanna be myself when I hit that dance floor. No one can stop me anymore. I wanna be free, wanna be free, wanna feel the sunshine, wanna know it's all mine. No one telling me who to be. Yeah, dig, I wanna be me, wanna be me, wanna be myself when I hit that dance floor. No one can stop me anymore. I wanna be free, wanna be free, wanna feel the sunshine, wanna know it's all mine. No one telling me who to be. Yeah, dig, I wanna be me, wanna be me, wanna be myself when I hit that dance floor. No one can stop me anymore. I wanna be free.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. We're so grateful for all of tonight's artists and readers. On behalf of everyone at Baltimore Center Stage, we hope you had a wonderful time, and we look forward to seeing you again at the next Baltimore Butterfly Session on February 8th. Good night.
Everything changes when the story you wanna tell can be told. When the only way to go on is by letting go. Is letting go. words that once came pouring from my heart are the same words that'll tear us all apart. It'll tear us apart. But it's just a song. It's just some lyrics on page. No one's here to hear it on stage anyway. And it's just a thought.